in their own
Personal
plight.
wealth.
Yeah, in their own plight.
Well, don't get me wrong. I think that one of the big, minor things that Sean and I had to come to terms with when we started learning all about this stuff, because when you really start to involve yourself and immerse yourself in all this other information that really at the moment is not directly relevant to your life. Like at the moment, the Israel-Palestine war just simply does not impact on our daily life. But
or does it?
in a roundabout way, we're learning that, it very well is and could. So we're interested in it, but we had to sort of come to terms with how much of ourselves and our emotions and our time and effort and energy are we going to actually devote our life to these topics, and how much we're going to just forget about it. And because it's so easy to just ignore it and go, all right, fuck it, I'm only going to care about my daily life. But I think the thing is, we're going to appreciate the shit out of our life here, because we love where we live. We believe in fun, and we believe in appreciating everything that's in front of you, and we're going to do that all the time. But we're going to also do our bit for as many other people as we can. So.
Well, I mean, like, it comes to the point, it's sort of like, well, you've got such a good life in Australia, and it's like, well, it is great. I love this country, being around to a lot of other countries around the world, and we're killing it. We're fucking doing real well, and it's a beautiful place, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else in the world. But you can never rest. You can never rest on your haunches and go, well, we got it good, so let's just keep copping it. I always think of my family in that aspect, because I got a couple of family members with a young family, and they earn a reasonable amount. They got professional jobs. They're in the public sector, and they I won't go into too much detail because they'll probably kill me, but they earn a lot of money. They earn enough money, like a good 100 and whatever, 70, 60 between them, 60k a year between them, and they've got three small children. They've got a cheap house. They've got a $1,000 house. They're renovating. Okay, I can't afford to raise their kids. They can, but they have to give them to mum 3 days a week to be able to get off because of the interest on their loan. Because so they're actually in a position where if mum wasn't around, they probably couldn't afford daycare. They'd be in this tight spot. And you're like, well, when does it stop?
Yeah. How hard do you need to work to actually live comfortably?
That's right. They're doing the best they can.
That we're in. I think that's the ratio of work to survival seems to be ridiculous. Day a week sort of.
How much do you earn? We live in a lovely area of Melbourne. Like we live in Prahran, and lovely unit, lovely view of the city. Now, sort of like people say, oh well, how are you going to get ahead if you don't buy? But we're not going to.
No interest in.
No interest in buying, but if you want to live in a lovely area around Melbourne and you want to buy, it's good luck to you. Yeah. If you're young, we're living in units.
A couple of million, maybe?
Yeah, you need just so much money. And
Australia is very expensive.
It is very expensive. And rightfully so, but if it's got anything to do with the rest of the world.
But back to what you were saying before, I think the reason why we can't just sit around anymore and enjoy our fruits of life, because we're realising more and more that the reason we're able to have such luxury is because of the bad things that are going on around the rest of the world. For example,
good point.
The fights in Congo over lithium and all that to make our iPhones.
There's
and the sweatshops
in
Asia to create our clothes.
That's so true.
We're able to have this. All the places around the world who experience the pleasure of extreme luxury are only able to do so because there are places who extreme poverty.
Let me be the devil's advocate and let me go, well, I mean, you're not going to give that stuff up if you want better conditions for those people, are you? And then to retort to my own question and say, well, what it comes down to is that I think, you've got these corporations and shareholders that need so much fucking profit, and it's always profit over people. And that's the reality of the world we live in. Money is the biggest religion in the world. The economic system will floor any sort of quality of human life. It'll fuck the environment until day dot, unless we probably do something with that system sooner or later. Then we might fuck the world. Honestly, we honestly might fuck the world.
It's not the best motivation to live life.
It isn't. It isn't. like maybe, you know, every company needs to be non-for-profit, then everyone's like, well, no one will fucking do everything, I'll just sit around and watch TV, and like, that's such a fucking... I'm not even going to entertain that sort of thinking. It's so fucking ridiculous. But like, the thing about it is that when you're trying to you know, if that person over there is not getting enough, you need that product cheap. Okay, you take the profits out of the corporation, the massive super profits out of the corporation, and you spread that around a bit more. Then automatically everyone in the world has cash. Everyone has spare cash. You know, so if you've got this paradigm where it's like, well, no corporation's going to have incentive to mass produce something unless they're making billions and billions of fucking dollars. You know, and that to me is like, you know, that means like, you know, things over like in Walmart, they don't pay their staff anything overseas. And the corporation makes massive amounts of money. Now, if they just decide to pay them $1 above minimum wage, I don't fucking know what exactly is going on, but there's always uproar about Walmart, people trying to boycott the company and all that. But people need to work, you know what I mean? And,
well, do they?
Do they need to work? Oh, that's a whole other podcast.
To answer your question, you were saying that would people want to give up slight bits of their luxury so that others could have a little bit more? And I think that is a fundamental question that I think is going... It used to be, the idea was most people would just go, definitely not, because every man for himself. But I think what's changing with the world now, this consciousness raising whole aspect, and the reason we want to connect people, we believe that when you connect people to their environment, you connect them to the oneness of the universe and all that la-di-da stuff, then the answer becomes a much more obvious, of course I would give up something so someone else could have a better life. And I think that is something that is changing.
I mean, I think with that, essentially what you brought up before with the Congo situation, so you've got the fifth bloodiest war that's happened in the history of man. It's been about over 1 million people that have been killed. And that war has gone on. The reason why the inside scoop, the reason why that war is happening, warlords are in control of the whole country and fucking people are dying and being used as slaves, all day, every day, is for one reason, and that is because, and could you bring up the name of the thing I'm looking for? And that is because, I need the mineral of the Congo, which makes it. So that's because we want iPhones. The first world wants tablets and iPhones, and the mineral is it's not lithium. No, conflict minerals. And the mineral, there's no possible way of making your iPhone, your Samsung Galaxy, all that sort of stuff, if they don't have this mineral.
Cassiterite, wolframite, coltan, and gold.
Coltan. So coltan, like, and that is a mineral which makes all electronic products. So for Apple to make its super profits, like in a quarter, what are they on? 6 billion, 7 billion, I think, in a quarter or something. So Apple to make its super profits, they need to get that cheap. Okay?
Well, not only to make them profits, but to make it affordable for their customers. So you're talking about that as well.
But you're also no.
They're trying to get it so cheap that their cost price is low enough so they can make a margin on their.
No. Let's be serious, because where's the rest? Where's all their profit? They sell an iPhone. The iPhone costs X to make, and the rest is the super profits. Okay, so for them to make a profit,
I understand that, but it's all a ratio. Like the lower,
it definitely
the lower
is. But if the stock market didn't exist, and they just needed to make the product and then sell it, okay, then there'll be a bit more for everyone, so to speak. Yeah, that's a bit of a progressive,
anyway, the more profit they make,
way of thinking.
The cheaper. Whatever. How is it?
I'm doing alright. So I just wanted to see if we're still recording. This is the first time we've used it. I think it likes us. It keeps flashing.
Does it?
Yeah, it's a nice microphone.
Flashes us.
How
rude.
So, yeah. So look, but I mean, one of our heroes, and the reason why I started this podcast also, one of our heroes, Joe Rogan, he's probably got the most successful podcast
in the world. Surely, it's in Canada. It's the most popular in Canada.
Yeah. But he has millions of people listening to every time, and back a fair while ago, he used to speak, a fair bit about, he's in with UFC. He's one of the commentators for UFC. He used to get a lot of, fighters or dietitians or that sort of thing. But recently, we've had this spike in a lot of problems around the world. And now whether you've had your head in the sand or not, I think everyone would know what we're talking about with climate change and all this sort of stuff.
The apocalypse is here.
Apocalypse 2012. Fucking, the zombies are coming. Aliens are here and they're invading as we speak. Aliens with massive penises that are going to have sex with, like little children, basically.
Interracial.
Right, it's going. Yeah, and they're going to brainwash you. And
if that's what you like, then you've got no problems.
Well, I don't know.
That's what you're into.
If they're underage, they're not allowed to choose.
Alien porn.
We can send them to war and get them to shoot people, but they can't have sex. Okay.
So Joe Rogan, he's
he's a positive man.
Yes, he's a truth teller, and we resonated a lot with that. With everything he was saying, we found as we started to listen to it, we're just like, we know, we get it. We understand what he's saying, and we live our life like that with those types of values. And so we thought that,
and we'll always
we wanted to be.
Yeah,
we'll promote Joe.
Well, look, I don't care. You listen. If people listen to this podcast, people listen to his podcast. It doesn't matter. It's the same stuff that's getting talked about, and that's the thing about what's going on. You watch these documentaries, and you watch all these, because that's another big part. I think I'm a full advocate if you want to learn a few things and interesting things, entertaining things fast. You know what I mean? If you want some nice, lovely music behind your facts, and you don't just want to read some blatant, crappy article or something like that. Just watch a few documentaries. That'll get you started. And there are some fucking extremely, well-organised documentary websites out there, all free. Everything's free. If it's not free, then there's problems. Yeah. Okay, so everything needs to be free. When it comes to information. Okay, so you've got documentaryheaven.com, documentarstorm.com. You got Top Documentaries Film. Documentary, I think it's lectures.com. Massive, great, really good. It's
anyway. And I think what you were trying to say before is the beauty about all these messages that are trying to get through at the moment is it's all like we promote each other because we're not here for please want to listen to us. It's not a competitive environment. We want everybody to listen to and learn as much as you possibly can about anything. Go and listen to Joe Rogan because we love what he talks about, and go listen to whoever you want. But it's not a competition, So I think
no, it's not. There's no competition, and that's essentially what the problem is in the world today. More for me, less for you. Yeah. Everything is sort of like this is bullshit. It's like a Neanderthal way of thinking. Sort of like you got to run away from a fucking cheetah. And you got to go, well, fuck it. Like, if I have to knock this guy over and the cheetah eats him, then I'm going to fucking do that. You know what I mean? We're talking about an evolution of the human race. You know what I mean?
That's going to be one of the huge, the ongoing things that we're going to probably chat about is human nature and whether or not there are parts of the human condition that are able to be shed at this day and age because of certain things that are happening. Like technology and advances might mean we no longer have to fight for our survival because we're able to provide the basics to human life. And then that comes with philosophical questions such as, does the fight for survival give you meaning to life? As in, maybe people enjoy having to fight for their food, not fight others, but grow their own food. Maybe that's what gives you pleasure. But anyway, those type of things I think are interesting topics.
Well, look, where it comes down to, where this all started for me, I asked a big question at one point many years ago to myself. I thought, well, look, if we have the technology to be able to create free, clean energy, okay, we got the technology to be able to make organic, sustainable fooding processes which distribute food closely to everyone around the world, and a constant, sustainable, reliable source. If we've got the technology to be able to give everyone free medical care and everyone free education, and why the fuck aren't we doing it? And that's a question that I racked my brain about, and I asked a lot of people about, and I did a lot of reading on, and it came down to a belief and an unquestioned belief. I think it's the most unquestioned belief. It's not like you're born a Muslim and then you don't question a religion. It's even more deeper than that. The most unquestioned belief in humankind is the belief of that we need money to make this world turn around.
Well, no,